The Shanghai Dragons were actually able to win last season. Not just once, but several times, and were actually able to win the Stage 3 playoffs. So, coming into the fourth stage, once Diem and Ding showed their stardom, everyone was expecting a lot from these guys, but then they did awful again. And so there needed to be some changes coming into the offseason. So let's get into it. First off, they got rid of almost their entire coaching staff, and so if that was what was holding them back, that's great to see them basically overhaul it. I'd love to get more information on like the inside happenings of these teams. I don't know if there's a way to or not, if I just haven't researched enough. But I don't know if there's much of a way to find out about like the coaching staff and what goes on behind the scenes with a lot of these teams. So I don't know how much of an improvement it'll be, but apparently the team thought it was an important thing to do because they basically overhauled everybody. Moon from the Los Angeles Valiant will be their new head coach. So they lost Youngjin and Gamsu, and Coma and Envy. So Youngjin and Envy both retired. Gamsu went to the Fuel, and Coma is still a free agent currently. And so those were definitely, obviously, some of their key players from last season as far as, pure amount of playtime goes. But I don't think many of those players will be missed too much, except for Envy, I thought was pretty good. And Gamsu was kind of surprising to leave. I thought he was a good tank for them. But I think Coma and Youngjin, they were able to replace them pretty easily. And so let's get into who they picked up, because they picked up quite a few players. They brought in Fleta, LIP, Void, Stand1, LeeJaeGon, and Fearless. And so yeah, we'll get into those in a minute about what all of them do, because that's obviously a lot of names. Last year in the league, they went 13 and 15, finishing 11th place. And so yeah, that's a big difference from 10th place just above them was a 2-win difference. And obviously going 13-15, you never want to go negative, but that's way better than season 1, obviously. And these guys do have stage 3 to work off of. But obviously stage 1 through 3, how much can you really count about it when that was all goats? And stage 4, they were really bad. They went 1-6, even though we were all expecting them to do really well. Now that Ding and DM, had shown that they were pretty good, it just didn't work out. And so they brought in a lot of players. Their biggest one, to me, is Fleta. Huge DPS star. And now, because I think we all view DM as the star DPS, and Ding was kind of like a Sombra specialist. And once it got to like Pharah and stuff, he kind of dropped off a little bit. Not that he was bad, but he wasn't quite the carry potential, like unreplaceable star on the team. And so now you have Fleta and DM, I say, as your starting 2 DPS on like any given scenario. And you have Ding as a backup for specialty on Pharah, anything like that, anytime you need him. And also if you're not trying to give away your hand to the opposing team for like game planning and stuff. And the Overwatch League website was talking about the amount of subs they have. Like, they have 12 players, and obviously you only have 6 players in your starting roster. And with all the traveling going on this season, all these substitutes, who are capable substitutes, they could be starting for this team if their replacements didn't come in. They have a lot of substitutes to help players avoid burnout and stuff, and to help, mess up the other team's game plan. So that's exciting, and I think Fleta, DM, and Ding is a really solid DPS trio there. LIP is not expected to get much playing time, I'd say, with those 3 players in place. So definitely a solid DPS lineup though, and Fleta, superstar. I was talking about in my other video that Prophet came in. Obviously, I think Prophet's better than Fleta, but I think Fleta's still way towards the top of the league, and this was a huge pickup for them. So yeah, stacked DPS lineup. Moving into their tank line, they still have Geggery in the lineup. They have Void and Stand1. Obviously, Envy was a solid player for them last year. Now that he's retired, I think Void, there's a lot of talk about him being underrated and that we should pay more attention to him. And so I'm definitely willing to give him the credit for that. That I haven't watched enough of him to say whether or not I think he's like one of the better in the league or if he's just average. But I definitely don't think he's, below average. I think this is a solid pickup and he'll be a good player for this team. I think he does have high potential. I just don't know how consistent he is at being like, one of the top in the league. But definitely a solid player. And then you have Stand1 and Fearless. Now, Fearless is coming from Overwatch Contenders with Team CC. And they did alright in Chinese Contenders. And Stand1, I believe, is from Gladiators Legion. And so he did pretty well in North America West with them. And if I'm correct, he's the one they expect to be coming in and starting with Void. So yeah, Fearless was actually on the team in 2019 at the start of it, but so now he's coming back, and he had some rock solid performances in Contenders China according to the Overwatch League website. So, sorry, I'm anticipating Fearless to be the primary starter for this team, is what the author of this article said. So if it's Fearless and Void, I don't think that's a bad starting lineup. I'd like to see how Fearless does. I haven't watched enough of his gameplay, or any, honestly. But if he can be solid, I think Void is, you don't have to worry about him. He's going to play well. And that's a solid starting tank lineup. And then moving to the support is the only place that I think is not star level right now. LeeJaeGon is expected to be really good. But then you have Izayaki and Luffy. And every other position, I think you have solid starters and solid backups. And this is the only position where I think you only really have your starters. I think Izayaki and LeeJaeGon are really good. But then I don't know how Luffy will do. Obviously, if it's just a substitute time when you just need to give someone a break, it's understandable. But I don't know if he's going to be good enough to really be a starter for this team very often. So anyways, LeeJaeGon, their big star, like young signing of the season, comes from Runaway. And obviously Runaway is always dominant in Korea. And he's expected to be one of the biggest support signings in the league. And so if you have LeeJaeGon coming in here, and you have him basically fill that Jonak role for this team, and you have Fleta, who's the star DPS, and Void and Fearless are solid tank. Or sorry, hold on, I missed one. You have LeeJaeGon coming in here, and I think he can be that Jonak type role for the team. And you have Diem and Fleta as your starting DPS, and if you have a solid tank line, this team can start to look really scary. And I think they're going to be better than they were last year. I don't know how much. I don't know if they'll be able to get into the point where they're top 5. But especially with hero pools being announced, and you have such flexibility at the DPS position, that this team is looking really dangerous. And I'm excited to see how they do. Because obviously everyone likes them, ever since their awful 0-40 season. And then last season they did well and upset in the Stage 3 finals. Everybody loves them. They're like the lovable losers, you know? They really weren't that great, but we all liked to have high expectations coming for them into this season. And so I do think they can be really good this season. I think Fleta and DM will be an insane DPS duo. And LeeJaeGon on support, I'm really excited to watch these guys. So don't forget, the season starts soon. I've been Emra, and thanks for watching.